Cinderhouse Studios presents BusPatrol, an independent design language scan.
Hello, this is a competitive design language analysis for the K-12 bus safety enforcement category in July of 2026. Let's talk about BusPatrol. If you've spent any time studying the K-12 school bus technology landscape, you've probably noticed that most companies in this space sound roughly the same. They talk about routing, they talk about GPS, they talk about peace of mind, and BusPatrol doesn't do any of that. BusPatrol talks about catching people who break the law, and that single decision shapes everything about how this brand looks, sounds, and operates. Let's start with the first calibration anchor in a competitive analysis series covering the K-12 bus routing and fleet management space. We're going to walk through what BusPatrol does, how it presents itself to the world, and what its design choices reveal about its positioning, its strengths, and its vulnerabilities. Let's get into it.
Who is BusPatrol?
BusPatrol is a school bus safety enforcement company. It was founded in 2017 and it's headquartered in Lorton, Virginia, with an engineering office in Canada, Ontario, Canada. The current CEO is Karun Monfored. Promoted from president and COO, the company was founded by Jean Soulière. Now, here's the scale we're talking about. More than 500 employees, over 40,000 school buses modernized, more than 2 million students allegedly protected, and over 400 community partnerships across roughly 30 states. Those are big numbers. But here's the thing that really matters: the business model. BusPatrol installs cameras on school bus stop arms at no upfront cost to the school district, no hardware bill, no procurement headache. Instead, the entire program is financed against citation revenue. When a driver illegally passes a stopped school bus, BusPatrol's cameras capture the violation. Their AI processes the evidence, law enforcement reviews, and approves the citation, and BusPatrol handles the mailing and payment support. The violator pays. The district doesn't. That's what the industry calls a violator-funded enforcement model, and BusPatrol is its purest, most fully realized example. 3 signals tell you everything you need to know about how this company positions itself. First, BusPatrol sells a program, not a product. Visit their website, and you won't find a product catalog. You'll find how it works, case studies, an invitation to become an advocate, and citation support. 2 of their 4 primary audiences aren't even buyers. They're community advocates and people who've received citations. This is a services family information architecture wearing a hardware company label. Second, BusPatrol has attracted serious private equity attention. GI Partners made a significant investment announced in 2024 with roughly $40 million raised in total alongside Weatherford Capital and FIT Ventures. But that financial scrutiny cuts both ways. A Montgomery County, Maryland Inspector General report questioned the contract structure, and Bloomberg Businessweek and Axios reported in 2026 that violations per camera have barely declined in that county, even as over 375,000 tickets and $92 million in fines have been issued. The brand's design language is visibly engineered to answer exactly this kind of scrutiny. Third, and this is the most fascinating part, BusPatrol has a complicated origin story, and its handling of that story is arguably its single most consequential design decision. The company was formed around the September 2017 acquisition of Force Multiplier Solutions BusGuard technology. This happened just days before the FBI raid that ended Force Multiplier Solutions and exposed the Dallas County Schools bribery scandal, a scandal that sent its CEO, a superintendent, and a Dallas City councilman to prison. BusPatrol retained staff, addresses, and contracts from the predecessor company while insisting on legal separateness. But here's the design move. The public brand narrative replaces this entire genealogy with the story of Adam Ranger, a 5-year-old boy killed while getting off his school bus in Ontario, Canada in the year 2000. Adam's story predates the company by 17 years, yet It moralizes the mission, and it displaces the inconvenient corporate history entirely. And we'll come back to why that matters.
What's in the name?
Let's start with the name itself. BusPatrol, one word, capital B, capital P, no space. It's a compound of the protected object, the bus, and a law enforcement noun, patrol. Look at the naming conventions across this industry. You've got operational compounds like transfinder, busright, busware, byte curve. You've got reassurance compounds like here comes the bus and stop finder. But patrol is the only name in the entire K-12 cohort that encodes enforcement authority. The name does the positioning work before any marketing copy even loads. This is the police-adjacent player in a market whose default vocabulary is peace of mind. BusPatrol's sub-brands follow a deliberate pattern. AVA, standing for Automated Violation Analysis, is their proprietary AI engine and 180-degree camera. It's an acronym that yields a human female name, smuggling a safety guardian identity into a machine vision product. AVA is the only sub-brand BusPatrol actively promotes. Then there's Z-Coach for driver performance monitoring, which reads more like inherited hardware nomenclature than native BusPatrol naming. Everything else, stop arm, camera box, side load camera, rear view camera, windshield camera, interior cameras, stays deliberately generic. The program is the product. Individual components are evidence of thoroughness, not product lines to be merchandised. The old BusGuard name, completely retired from public surfaces. It survives only in litigation records and legacy contracts. Most companies that acquire technology keep the acquired product name for continuity. BusPatrol's clean break is entirely consistent with its origin substitution strategy.
The visual identity.
Now let's talk about how BusPatrol looks. The palette is brilliant in its simplicity. School bus yellow and deep patrol navy on white, just two colors. The primary yellow is a warm golden tone, sitting between the mandated National School Bus glossy yellow and safety signage amber. It's used for calls to action, stat highlights, icon fills, and the bus graphic in the logo. The deep navy is nearly black, used for the word mark, hero sections, footer bands, and body headings. White provides the base with light cool gray section washes. So here's what makes this special. BusPatrol's brand color is the product's mandated color. The yellow bus itself is abstracted into a brand identity, and no other company in this cohort can claim that. The yellow and navy pairing reads as the bus plus the badge, in school transport warmth layered over law enforcement gravity. It is the strongest, most ownable palette in the hardware safety category. The photography reinforces this identity in a way no competitor can match. BusPatrol uses documentary reel images, technicians on ladders installing camera boxes, yellow buses in actual weather conditions, and candid team photos from deployments. But the decisive move is using actual violation footage as marketing imagery. The technology page embeds real stop arm clips, real AVA footage, real side load, and rear view camera captures. The same footage that convicts violators is the brand asset. No renders, no stock photography, no product on white studio shots. Evidence-grade realism is a brand strategy. The website is built on WordPress with Elementor, the same builder substrate that several competitors use. The layout follows a long scroll single-page pattern. Dark navy hero with headline and video, an animated statistics band, alternating white and gray sections, and card layouts organized as problem and solution, and testimonial cards with district logos and a dark footer. Text is contained in boxes with generous radii that's friendly. Consumer soft geometry wraps enforcement hard content. That temperature control is deliberate. Typography is clean. A single bold geometric sans serif family, likely in the Poppins font family, carrying everything from display headlines to interface text, heavy weights for headlines, sentence case for body, title case for section labels, uppercase for eyebrow labels. The headline register is confident and declarative. School bus safety starts here. Keep students safe with AI-powered technology. Headlines and copy leads and claims are not flanked by institutional or legal copy gestures, despite the quasi-governmental function this company performs.
The hardware.
On the product industrial design side, BusPatrol's design language makes a smart choice. It treats the yellow school bus as the chassis. The hardware, gray and black camera enclosures mounted at various positions, is deliberately designed to look like equipment, not product. And there's no signature design or enclosure, no special colorway, no visible badge on the hardware. The hardware subordinates itself to the bus's own regulated visual identity. The enforcement stop arm with its camera box is the only street-facing element, and its design authority is borrowed from the red stop sign that it mounts to. The most sophisticated product industrial move is digital. The technology page features an interactive three-dimensional school bus. Using a custom WordPress website plugin, the site lets visitors explore the home, interior, and exterior camera views with clickable hotspots for each device. Click a hotspot and it opens real camera footage from that position. And this is the hardware safety category's answer to a product configurator, a fleet anatomy explainer that converts 8 generic camera enclosures into one legible, coherent system. And it's the strongest single design asset on the entire site. What's notably absent: hardware specification sheets, mounting documentation, enclosure ratings, or compliance certifications. The industrial layer is narrated as tested in some of the toughest weather, but details are never specified. That's consistent with selling to school boards rather than fleet engineers, but it leaves a gap for the technical evaluator that a district might delegate to during procurement.
The software gap.
Here's where things get interesting and problematic for BusPatrol. The operator-facing software, the violation review queues, the evidence package workflows, the real-time dashboards, the monthly reports, and all the compliance tools that the homepage promises is claimed, but never shown. No dashboard screenshots, no citation portal walkthrough, no law enforcement review interface, nothing. This matters more for BusPatrol than for most companies because the software is the recurring revenue system, not the product. The cameras are just its sensors. In an environment where the company faces scrutiny about being a revenue machine, an unseen citation pipeline reads as a black box. Showing the review interface would be the cheapest available fairness proof, and they're not doing it. Only 2 interface systems are public: the citation support flow for people who received violations and the demo scheduling funnel. The violator-facing experience, used by hundreds of thousands of cited drivers, is designed as an afterthought rather than as the transparency showcase that the scrutiny environment demands. And every resentful violator is a potential voter in the jurisdictions where BusPatrol's statute-based channel depends on political goodwill. That's a strategic exposure the design language isn't addressing.
Brand voice and tone.
Let's talk about how BusPatrol sounds. The voice can be captured in one sentence. The mission-driven national safety program that turns AI cameras and traffic law into protection for children. Enforcement reframed as prevention, funded by violators, and delivered as a fully managed partnership. Against the industry's voice archetypes, BusPatrol is a safety guardian speaking with an enforcement authority accent, found nowhere else in the cohort. When Zonar or Transfinder plays Safety Guardian, they say, "Know where your child's bus is." When BusPatrol plays Safety Guardian, they say, "Drivers who endanger children will be caught." That's a fundamentally different energy. The tone palette breaks down across several registers. At the highest intensity, you've got superlative authority, America's #1, most trusted, most advanced, most deployed, world's leading. Every major surface opens with a superlative. Equally high intensity is the mission emotive register, the Adam Ranger origin story. The line, "No parent should ever have to worry if their child will make it home safely." And the victim family testimony video featuring Tiara's story from Lake City, Florida. And then there's what I'd call the prevention reframing register. And this one is defensive by design. Message points are, it isn't just about penalties, it's about prevention without putting the burden on local budgets. Enforce the law fairly. More than a camera vendor, we're a partner. An unusually high share of BusPatrol's copy exists to answer objections the reader hasn't even voiced yet. Cost, fairness, revenue motive. The brand is preemptively defending itself. At medium intensity, you've got the tech credentialed register as true AI that has 30% more accuracy than the human eye, up to 8 lanes away. And the community warm register, local jobs, education, the advocate program, veteran technician storytelling. BusPatrol also deploys a proof currency that no one else in this space can mint. The claim that a high percentage of violators never reoffend is a behavior change metric used as the top line stat. It extends beyond the typical installed base counts and marquee district lists that dominate this industry's proof vocabulary. The brand fingerprint, the phrases that appear word for word across every surface, tells you exactly what the BusPatrol brand wants you to remember. Safer buses, safer kids. That's the trademarked master phrase. Make the journey to and from school safer. That's the mission sentence that's repeated verbatim on the About page, LinkedIn, and the footer. Change driver behavior. It's the load-bearing verb phrase that answers the revenue machine critique. Fully managed, all-in-one, turnkey, and end-to-end, they describe the program's completeness cluster. No upfront cost addresses the business model's customer-facing tagline. Now, here's what's deliberately absent from BusPatrol's expression set. Peace of mind, which is the universal parent reassurance phrase. Where's my kid's bus? Which is the mobile app register. And do more with less addresses the driver shortage, the ROI register. These are all absent from BusPatrol's expression set. Note that BusPatrol writes to voters, school boards, and police, not to transportation directors squeezed by the driver shortage. And this is the cleanest evidence that BusPatrol sits beside, not inside, the routing market's sales conversations.
BusPatrol's strategic positioning.
Let me walk you through where BusPatrol sits on each of the major competitive forks in this industry. On an operational scope, from point capability to full operations platform, BusPatrol scores about a 40 out of 100. BusPatrol is anchored to one core job, that's stop arm enforcement, but it's drifting toward platform territory. The camera kit now includes interior and 360 cameras, GPS and LTE telematics, fleet management and tracking, and a driver coaching platform called Z-Coach. BusPatrol is executing the classic land and expand strategy, and they are doing this from a camera beachhead instead of a GPS one. BusPatrol doesn't yet claim routing, ridership, or parent communications. I'm putting an underscore on yet. On technology generation, BusPatrol scores about 75. The rhetoric isn't a pure challenger-like voice. Cloud-managed 360 video systems and true AI versus outdated systems that rely on radar. However, BusPatrol's underlying stack descends from 2008-era BusGuard hardware that's only been webified and AI augmented. Structurally, it's the same pattern as other legacy migration to cloud transitions that are similar across the industry. So their legacy tech stack is just wearing challenger clothes here. On K-12 specialization, BusPatrol scores a 92. Everything, the name, the palette, the origin story, the buyer, the statute base, is yellow bus category specific. In direct contrast to BusPatrol is Vera Mobility, which runs a general photo enforcement platform that also does school buses. BusPatrol versus Vera is this category's version of the specialist versus generalist divide, and BusPatrol's design language exploits it. Vera simply cannot credibly run the Adam Ranger's tragic and emotional brand story register. On asset posture, BusPatrol scores about 80, heavily asset weighted. The company owns the camera fleet on those 40,000 plus buses and finances it against future citation revenue. No upfront cost is the asset posture spoken aloud. The balance sheet is the brand promise.
Notable design moves worth naming.
BusPatrol runs several design moves that are unique enough to deserve their own names. First, origin substitution or tragedy anchoring, replacing an inconvenient corporate genealogy with a victim-centered founding myth that predates the company and moralizes the mission. The Adam Ranger story isn't ordinary mission storytelling. It performs narrative displacement work, actively pushing the force multiplier solutions history off the stage. Second, enforcement as prevention reframing. It isn't just about penalties. It's about prevention. Change driver behavior. This is the rhetorical engine that converts a citation revenue model into a safety program. Third, evidence as imagery, using actual violation footage as marketing photography. The product's output is the brand's visual content. No other company in this cohort can replicate this move. Fourth, the Fleet Anatomy Explainer. That's the interactive three-dimensional bus on the website with device hotspots, which is a configurator-grade digital asset for a product that requires no configuration. Fifth, jurisdictional co-branding. BusPatrol's launches aren't vendor press releases. They're staged as the county's public safety program, with elected officials at the podium. The vendor recedes into trusted partner. This is public procurement native brand building. Sixth, statute channel advocacy. The Community Advocates Program, the partnership with GHSA and Safe Kids Worldwide, the national blueprint for action. This is building the sales channel by changing law. BusPatrol treats the legislative landscape not as a fixed constraint, but as a variable to be engineered.
The gaps and vulnerabilities.
No design language analysis would be complete without examining the cracks, and BusPatrol has some significant ones. The biggest is the unaddressed genealogy. There is zero public surface acknowledgement of the force multiplier solutions or BusGuard origin. Inspector General reports, court records, and national press coverage keep that history alive. The origin substitution strategy works until a procurement officer runs a Google search. The gap between the about page myth and the searchable record is the brand's largest trust liability. Second is the invisible software problem we discussed. The recurring value product, dashboards, evidence workflow, review tools is never shown. In a scrutiny environment, that reads as opacity, not modesty. Third is the violator experience. The highest volume audience, cited drivers, gets a support page, not a designed experience. And remember, every resentful violator is a voter in jurisdictions where BusPatrol's business depends on political authorization. Fourth is what I'd call template substrate erosion, or the accumulation of small craft failures, such as duplicate footer blocks, a typo that reads proven results, safer results. There are three different labels for the same call to action: schedule a demo, book a demo, and partner with us. Stat counters that render as 0+ when JavaScript doesn't load. An accessibility widget offering 42 language translations on an English-only site. A third-party plugin that renders the brand name as BusPatrol Inc. on every page. Individually, each of these is trivial. Collectively, they undercut the most advanced claim at the craft layer. Fifth, the trademarked tagline, "Safer buses, safer kids," resides in the footer, while the hero section runs the generic tagline, "School bus safety starts here." Safer buses, safer kids is the best line the brand owns, and it's buried. Sixth, there's no hardware substantiation layer on the public surface. No spec sheets, no certifications, no environmental ratings. That leaves the technical evaluator, which is the person a school district might delegate to during procurement, completely unserved.
Competitive position.
Within the hardware safety archetype, BusPatrol has the most complete brand system in the category. Competitors, Safe Fleet, and Gatekeeper, they speak as component suppliers. Product catalogs, dealer channels, specifications first. Competitor, Vera Mobility's brand voice speaks as a horizontal enforcement platform with many vertical markets and a government services register. BusPatrol alone speaks as a K-12 native mission program. and its design language weaponizes the specialization fork against Vera and the scope fork against Safe Fleet and Gatekeeper. But here's the forward-looking competitive question. BusPatrol's camera-first land and expand strategy is moving it toward the same K-12 operations platforms quadrant that the telematics players like Zonar and CalAmp are seeking from the GPS side. When these trajectories collide, BusPatrol will arrive speaking as a safety guardian with a badge. The telematics tier will arrive speaking operational pragmatist. The winner in the overlap will be whoever can add the other's register without losing their own. Against adjacent categories, BusPatrol's expression vocabulary makes clear that it does not compete for the transportation director's routing budget. It competes for the jurisdiction's public safety mandate, a different budget controlled by different gatekeepers, school boards, county executives, police chiefs, and state legislators. That makes BusPatrol a complement, not a rival, to the routing incumbents and telematics players, at least for now.
Things worth emulating.
For other companies studying this space, 4 things from BusPatrol's design language are worth learning from. 1, the Fleet Anatomy Explainer, an interactive product anatomy with real footage, is the best explainer pattern observed in this domain to date. 2, a color palette strategy that abstracts the regulated object, the yellow school bus, directly into brand equity. 3, jurisdictional co-branding and recidivism-style outcome metrics as proof currencies that go beyond simple installed base counts. And 4, the community advocates construct productized grassroots advocacy as a brand building and channel building tool.
What BusPatrol should fix.
The 6 things BusPatrol should address. First, publish auditable methodology behind every behavior change statistic. Retire any number that can't survive investigative scrutiny. A brand whose entire defensive perimeter is prevention, not penalties, cannot afford unfalsifiable prevention statistics. Second, show the software. Use the evidence review interface as a fairness proof. Third, design the violator experience as a transparency showcase, not a support afterthought. Fourth, promote safer buses, safer kids from the footer to the hero. Unify the demo call to action under one consistent name. Fifth, add a hardware substantiation layer with specifications and certifications for the technical evaluators. And sixth, decide deliberately how the brand answers the genealogy question before a procurement process asks it. Silence is not a strategy, not when the record is one search away.
In closing,
BusPatrol is the domain's purest violator-funded enforcement player, wearing the domain's warmest safety guardian brand voice. That hard-soft brand tension is purposefully designed, and it's executed with an ownable identity, evidence-grade photography, and a founding myth that substitutes for a problematic genealogy. The design language is strategically coherent and yet tactically eroded, superlatives and unaudited statistics at the top, with discoverable mistakes and template craft slippage evident at the bottom. And the 2 most scrutiny-relevant topics, its questionable beginnings and unconfirmed test results data, are left unresolved and undesigned.
And that concludes our design language scan for BusPatrol 2026. This report was joyfully produced by Cinderhouse Studios, powered by Timble.io. Thanks for listening.